The first time I saw it, I didn't even believe it. My phone, glowing silently on the kitchen counter, showed the call log. 47 missed calls. 47. From her. From Sarah. I had been asleep, or at least I thought I had been asleep, but the relentless vibrations flashing across the dark screen told a different story. My heart began to pound, not in alarm at the volume, but at the possibility, the terrifying suspicion that had already begun to form. I rubbed my eyes, staring at the name blinking insistently. Sarah. My wife. My Sarah. The one who had once made the world feel like it could bend for us. I should have felt relief that she was safe, but what I felt was a cold, sinking dread. I remembered the night before. It had started innocuously enough. A weekend trip with friends to celebrate Ben and Lauren's engagement. Sarah had been radiant, her laughter filling every corner of the cozy, dimly lit lounge we'd ended up in. I had wanted to join the celebration, but something in my chest had refused the cheer. I stayed back at the hotel, nursing a glass of whiskey, telling myself it was fine, that she'd be fine. She had called me twice that evening, laughing loudly into the phone. "You're ruining the fun," I left. I had smiled weakly, pretending my heart wasn't twisting into tight knots. I had imagined her in a crowd, dancing with friends, oblivious to me, and for a moment, I had let myself think it was normal. Couples had separate lives, right? But 47 calls by morning were not normal. I unlocked the phone with trembling fingers and scrolled through the messages she'd left. They weren't the usual cheerful or silly texts I had grown used to. They were sharp, impatient, and worst of all, unrecognizable. "Where are you? Stop ignoring me. I said I'd be back when I feel like it. Don't act like you care." Cold sweat ran down my back. Something in her tone was different. Distant, almost mocking. I called her back, hoping for an explanation, a reassurance, a tiny thread of the woman I had married. "Hello." Her voice was light, playful. Too playful. "Sarah, what's going on? 47 missed calls." I choked on my words. "I was worried." She laughed, that infuriating carefree laugh that had once charmed me, but now felt like nails scratching across a blackboard. "Worried? Oh come on, you're ruining the fun." "Left. I'm fine." I paused, my hands gripping the edge of the counter so hard I felt my knuckles cracking. "You left." "Left where?" "Wherever I wanted to." "Don't overthink, darling," she said, as if that explained everything. There was a silence that stretched between us, a void I had never known existed in our marriage. Something shifted, subtle and terrifying. The Sarah I had loved, the Sarah I had trusted with my heart and my every secret, was gone. Replaced by a stranger who laughed at my concern and dismissed my fear. I spent the day replaying the last few weeks in my head, searching for signs, for cracks I had ignored. The late nights, the sudden phone secrecy, the quiet sighs that I had thought were exhaustion. I hated myself for not noticing sooner, for trusting so easily, for thinking love alone could shield me from betrayal. By evening I couldn't take it anymore. I left the hotel, drove aimlessly through streets bathed in the cold neon glow of city lights, and ended up outside a quiet bar near the pier. My mind was a storm, crashing relentlessly against the walls of what I had believed. And then I saw them. Sarah, laughing in a way that was unmistakably hers, but at someone else's jokes, leaning too close, touching too freely. The man beside her wasn't anyone I knew. I didn't need to see more. My stomach sank, my chest tightened, and for the first time in years, I felt my heart fracture like brittle glass. I turned away, afraid to witness more, but the memory burned into my mind. Her hand brushing his, the sparkle in her eyes, the betrayal that had been hiding behind her usual warmth. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, replaying every laugh, every touch, every moment that now felt like a lie. 47 calls. 47 desperate attempts to reach someone who had been playing a game I didn't know I was part of. By morning I couldn't stay away. I drove home, keys trembling in my hands. The apartment was silent, unnervingly so, the kind of silence that screams the truth louder than words ever could. And then she appeared like she had all along, bright and unbothered. Morning, she said, stretching lazily on the couch, hair falling perfectly around her shoulders. You finally awake. I couldn't speak. My throat was dry, my chest heavy with betrayal. Sarah, who was he? My voice broke halfway through, the pain spilling out uncontrolled. She looked at me, amused, almost indulgent, as if I had misunderstood something simple. Who? Oh, don't be dramatic. It was just fun. Fun. I repeated, disbelief and anger lacing every syllable. You're saying this. All of this is just fun. Her smile faltered, a flicker of something. Guilt maybe before it returned. You worry too much. You're always too serious. Life's meant to be enjoyed, love. I laughed bitterly, a sound that felt alien even to me. You mean life's meant to be enjoyed without me? A shrug. You weren't there, were you? You were worried about the wrong things. I left, I had fun, and I came back. Simple. I sank into the nearest chair, a storm raging inside me. How could someone I loved, someone I trusted, reduce our years together to a mere inconvenience, a trivial obstacle to her amusement? I thought of our wedding vows, of quiet nights spent dreaming together, of mornings where her head rested on my chest and everything had felt right. And now it was all a lie. Why? I whispered, though it was more to myself than to her. Why would you do this? Why betray us? She finally looked at me fully, her eyes a mixture of impatience and something I couldn't name. Because I can. 'Cause I want to. 'Cause you make life too predictable, too safe. I need excitement. I felt my chest tighten further, a physical pain that seemed to hollow me out. Excitement. Is that what our marriage was missing? Do you know how that feels, to watch someone you love? To watch them throw away everything you built together like it's nothing? She shrugged again, indifferent. Maybe it's nothing to you too. Maybe you don't even notice what you're missing until it's too late. I stared at her, speechless, and for the first time, truly understood the vast, painful chasm that had opened between us. 47 calls, countless nights of worry, all for a woman who had already left, who had already chosen someone else for her thrill. I wanted to scream, to beg, to fight, but the fight had already been lost in the quiet betrayals, the laughter that didn't include me, the moments that weren't shared. I realized then that love alone isn't enough to hold someone who has already gone. The finality of it broke me. I felt like a stranger in my own life, an actor who had just realized the stage was empty. And yet, beneath the despair, a small, cold clarity emerged. I deserved truth, even if it came in the form of pain. I stood up, hands shaking, and looked at her one last time. I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend, and I won't. You've made your choice. I hope it's worth it. She smirked, light as air. Don't be melodramatic. I'll always have my fun, and you'll get over it. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I simply walked out, leaving the apartment, the betrayal, and the memories behind. The sunlight outside hit my face with a cold, uncompromising clarity. 47 calls, 100 lies, 1,000 stolen moments. Gone. And in the emptiness that followed, I realized something crucial. Pain, betrayal, heartbreak, they all cut deeply. But so does freedom. And sometimes, freedom only comes when you let go of what you thought was forever.